The alarm clock rings at 7:30 a.m. You open your eyes, and the first emotion you feel is sticky, disgusting morning panic. You hit snooze again and again until at 8 a.m. you jump out of bed like you've been scalded, realizing you're catastrophically late. You run to the shower, splashing icy water, gulping instant coffee while trying to find the second sock in a pile of unwashed laundry. You run outside, jumping into an overcrowded subway car or stuck in a traffic jam, gripping the steering wheel until your knuckles hurt. Your heart rate is through the roof. Cortisol levels are maxed out before the workday even begins, and you arrive at the office by 9 a.m. already completely exhausted. Your day started with you losing the race against your own schedule and giving up control of your life before you even brushed your teeth. Now imagine another person, your peer, who works in the next office or lives in the house across the street. He woke up at 5 a.m. in absolute silence, when nobody's calling or texting because the whole world is still asleep and it's dark outside. He goes to the kitchen, pours a glass of water, hears the wall clock ticking, and in those 2 hours does a workout and calmly brews good coffee. He reads a chapter from a professional book and spends a full hour working on his personal business project or analyzing his investment portfolio. By 8 a.m., when you're just starting to panic around your apartment, he's already won the day's main victory and invested in his future. He's calm as a granite rock. And you know what's most frustrating? In 3 years, he'll be your boss, or he'll start his own business and hire you. And you'll be standing by the water cooler complaining to colleagues, asking for a pathetic 5% raise, blaming inflation and tough times. If you want to change this situation, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and send this video to a friend who's also always late and complaining about life. For decades, they've been selling us fairy tales about morning magic, yoga, and green smoothies, making us think that early rising is for enlightened gurus. But it's a bold, beautiful lie designed to hide from you the fundamental economic law that governs wealth and poverty. Today, I'm not going to teach you to meditate at dawn or find your purpose, but I'll show you cold, ruthless mathematics of success. I'll explain why waking up at 5 a.m. isn't a health habit, but the most aggressive tool for hacking the capitalist system. We'll break down how your beloved 8 hours of sleep are stealing millions from you, and why the excuse, "I'm a night owl," is a diagnosis for the poor. I'll show you how just 1 extra hour a day will guaranteed pull you out of the rat race and change your financial reality forever. Let's immediately address your main argument. What 5 a.m.? I'm a night owl. It's my genetics. My productivity peaks at night. You say your brain only starts working after 11 p.m., but let's be painfully honest. What exactly are you doing after 11? Are you building complex financial models, learning programming languages, or analyzing stock charts to find undervalued companies? No. In 95% of cases, your night productivity is mindless scrolling, watching Netflix series, and online shopping for useless junk. Your night owl nature isn't genetics, but simply a biological excuse for your dopamine addiction and inability to control your impulses. In science, this is called decision fatigue. During the workday, you make hundreds of micro decisions, and by evening, your prefrontal cortex turns to jelly. Your willpower is at absolute zero. Your resources are exhausted by your boss, problematic clients, commute, and stress. And in the evening, you're physically incapable of building capital. In the evening, you consume garbage, and night is when you pay the system with your attention and your money, watching ads and making impulsive purchases. Corporations benefit from you staying up until 2 a.m. staring at screens, because for them, you're just a cash cow generating ad views and profit. Now let's look at time through the lens of economics. Time is the only asset in the world that's distributed absolutely fairly among all people. Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, and a homeless person at the station all have exactly 24 hours in a day, and you can't take a loan for an extra hour or save time for later. The only question is who owns your hours, and let's dissect your typical day to see the truth. From 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., your time belongs to your employer who bought it wholesale for a fixed rate, and you can't build your empire during this time. You're building his empire, paying for his new yacht, and from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., your time belongs to the transportation system, traffic, and supermarkets. From 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., your time belongs to family, chores, laundry, and cooking, and from 9 p.m. to midnight, your time belongs to marketers showing you ads on social media. You don't have a single minute that belongs to you. You're a transit passenger in your own life, and your time is torn apart by creditors of your energy. That's why 5 a.m. isn't about early rising, but about legally stealing time from the system that wants you to work for it around the clock. From 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. is the Matrix's blind spot when nobody demands reports from you. Your wife is asleep, kids are asleep, boss is asleep, and the tax office is asleep. In these 2 hours, the phone is dead. No push notifications, no urgent emails. And these are the only 2 hours in the day when you could be a pure creator of your capital. You'll say, so what, 2 hours? What will they change globally? I'd rather sleep in. But get your calculator ready, because now mathematics will crush you. 2 hours a day multiplied by 7 days a week equals 14 hours, and multiplied by 52 weeks. That's 728 hours a year that you get out of nowhere. If you convert 728 hours to standard 8-hour workdays, that's exactly 91 workdays, or 3 full work months every damn year. You get 3 months out of nowhere just by moving the alarm clock hand. And now imagine 2 guys, Sleepy Sam and Early Ryan. Both work at a factory for $3,500 a month. Both want to escape the rat race and open their own online store, but their approaches are radically different. Sam sleeps until 8 a.m., comes home from work drained, and promises himself to work on a website on weekends. But when weekends arrive, he drinks beer and plays video games. Sam sleeps until noon because, I deserve rest. I slave for my boss all week, and his website still doesn't exist 5 years later. 5 years later, Sam is still at the factory. Only inflation has eaten his salary, and his dreams of owning a business remain just dreams. Ryan wakes up at 5 a.m., and from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., he watches marketing lessons, sets up ads, searches for suppliers in China, and writes text for his website. He works on his future exactly 2 hours a day, but does it every single day without weekends. And after a year, he has 728 hours of focused work behind him. It's as if Ryan took a paid 3-month vacation and locked himself in a bunker working only on his project. And after a year, he launches sales. Ryan quits the factory because his business brings in $8,000 net per month, while Sam sits in the smoking area drinking cheap coffee from the machine. Sam tells colleagues that Ryan just got lucky. He probably has rich parents or connections, and anyway, you can't build an honest business in America. The difference between poverty and wealth is almost never measured by genius or luck. It's measured by 2 boring morning hours. These 2 hours multiplied by years of steel discipline. And your sleep after 5 a.m. is the most expensive bad habit that costs you millions. You're literally sleeping through your apartments, cars, and your freedom. But why specifically morning? Why can't you just use willpower to work in the evening? Here's where neurobiology comes in. In the morning after sleep, your prefrontal cortex, responsible for complex decisions and willpower, is clean like RAM after a reboot. Dopamine levels are baseline. Your brain isn't yet poisoned by short videos, negative news, and work stress. And when you sit down for a complex task at 5 a.m., you can maintain deep concentration. You work in a state of absolute flow, and 1 hour of morning work in effectiveness and mental clarity equals 3 to 4 hours of evening tinkering. Your brain in the evening is like an overheated processor trying to close 50 frozen browser tabs. And here's where the toughest psychological trigger kicks in: the pride of a winner. When you wake up before dawn, you commit an act of violence against your laziness. You defeat your weak, whining self before breakfast. When you go outside or sit at your desk and it's pitch dark outside, you feel like a predator who has already outpaced 99% of your city's population. This gives you such a wild dose of animal confidence that any problems during the day seem like child's play, and if you could pull yourself out of a warm bed at 5 a.m. for your goal, then can't you handle those tough negotiations or demand a discount from a supplier? Early rising forges you into a person with a titanium spine inside. Okay, I'm convinced. Tomorrow I'll set my alarm for 5 a.m. I'm ready to tear this world apart. You'll say, and tomorrow you'll fail completely. You'll get up, walk around your apartment like a zombie, hate me, this channel, this whole idea, and your whole life, and at 6 a.m. you'll go back to bed feeling completely worthless. Why? Because you're trying to break the system over your knee without reading the instructions, and motivation lasts 2 days while discipline works for years. Here's your steel-hard protocol for reprogramming your schedule. How to join the Predator League without going crazy from sleep deprivation. Rule 1. Morning starts the evening before. You can't go to bed at 1 a.m., wake up at 5 a.m., and be productive. You'll be a sack of potatoes, and that's physics. To wake up at 5 a.m., you must be asleep by 10 p.m. No excuses. And here's where the main withdrawal begins. Your brain will scream, how can I? What about watching a series? What about scrolling the feed? It's my only free time, but realize the harsh truth. You're bargaining for garbage time that carries no value. Time from 10 p.m. to midnight carries no value. Light from your smartphone screen blocks melatonin production, and your sleep becomes superficial. You're just flushing your remaining resources down the toilet, and you must ruthlessly cut evening consumption for morning creation, shifting your schedule by 15 minutes each day. Don't try to jump from 8 a.m. to 5 a.m. overnight. It will cause jet lag, and your psyche will break. So move gradually. Rule 2. The 10-second rule and cold floor. The scariest battle of your life happens in those 10 seconds when the alarm rings. Your brain is the greatest lawyer of your laziness. And in those 10 seconds, it will come up with 1,000 brilliant reasons why you need to sleep just a little longer. You were so tired yesterday, it's cold and dark outside. You'll get sick. One day won't make a difference. Let's start Monday. And if you start negotiating with your brain, you've lost. The alarm clock must be on the other side of the room. Set it to the most annoying harsh sound. No birds singing or ocean waves. You must physically get up to turn it off, and once your bare heels touch the cold floor, there's no going back. Don't think, don't analyze your condition. Go to the bathroom and wash your face with ice water. Physical action must precede the treacherous thought. Rule 3. A clear plan the evening before. The worst thing you could do is wake up at 5 a.m., pour coffee, sit on the couch, and start thinking, okay, I'm up, I'm great, now what do we do? Your brain, in a half-asleep state without a clear command, will choose the easiest and most habitual action. Grab the phone and check social media. And that's it. The magic is destroyed. You just moved your evening degradation to morning. And the evening before, a sheet of paper must be on your desk with one main, most difficult task. It could be open a brokerage account and analyze stock multiples, write a draft of a commercial proposal, or build the first block of your website. You wake up, sit down, and immediately hit the target without warming up. And Rule 4. Absolute isolation from the world. No internet in the first hour. Your phone is in airplane mode since the evening. You don't check email. You don't read news. If you open Telegram before completing your main task, you let the noisy world into your quiet fortress, and you allowed other people's thoughts to hijack your crystal clear brain. You allowed other people's news, other people's panic, and other people's problems to hijack your brain, and 5 a.m. is your time. Don't give it to Zuckerberg, Durov, or your boss. Rule 5. No chores during these 2 hours. Many beginners break here. They wake up at 5 a.m. and start washing dishes, ironing shirts, cooking borscht. Stop. You didn't wake up to become the perfect homemaker. 5 a.m. is sacred time for building capital, upgrading your brain, and strategic planning. Leave chores for the evening when your brain is no longer capable of generating ideas. Morning is too expensive to spend on dusting. You can say, "This is too harsh. I want to live in comfort. I don't want to stress so much." And please, being poor is also a form of comfort. Poverty is very cozy. Nobody bothers you. Nobody expects anything great from you. And you can ride the beaten track your whole life. You can drink beer on Fridays, complain about the government, bad genetics, a tyrant boss, and retrograde Mercury. The economic system loves such people. They make ideal, obedient credit consumers who sleep until 8 a.m. They wake up to arrive exactly at 9 a.m., scan their badge, and start making profit for their boss. And if you want to get out of this jar of spiders, you'll have to do what most people physically and morally don't do. Most sleep while the wealthy are awake. And while the poor have sweet dreams about how they'll someday win the lottery and become successful, those who woke up at 5 a.m. have long been building reality. They're building the reality where these poor people will work for them. And wealth isn't about how much you work at your official job. Wealth is what you do during the hours when nobody pays you for it. And your capital is born before sunrise. Your freedom is forged in morning silence while others hit the snooze button. And remember, you're not stupid, you just weren't taught how to manage time and money. School taught you to solve quadratic equations and remember war dates. But it's absolutely, totally, and hopelessly illiterate in the only subject that determines your survival. That subject is money. And school taught you to be the perfect executor, raise your hand to go to the bathroom, and fear mistakes. But it forgot to tell you the most important thing: how capital works, why inflation is legalized theft, and how not to become a slave to the system by 30. Today I showed you one tool, control over time, but this is only the beginning of the journey to financial freedom. If you want to learn more about how capital works, how to invest wisely, and how to build real wealth, not just look rich, then subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with those who are ready to change their life, not just complain about it. Because information is power, but only if you apply it in practice, not just consume it as entertainment. You're now at a crossroads. You can close this video, sleep an hour longer, and continue living as before. Or you can set your alarm for 5 a.m. Start applying these rules, and a year from now look back and not recognize yourself. The choice is yours, but remember, inaction is also a choice, and it's a choice in favor of poverty and dependence. Your prefrontal cortex in the morning is clean like RAM after a reboot, and this is your advantage that you either use or lose. 1 hour of morning work is worth 3 to 4 evening hours, and this isn't magic, it's neurobiology and economics of your brain. When you wake up before dawn, you're already a winner, and this victory gives you energy for the whole day to win again and again. You've outpaced 99% of people before they even open their eyes, and this feeling of power will stay with you all day. Start today, start small, move your alarm 15 minutes earlier, then another 15, and in a month you'll be waking up at 5 o'clock like it's nothing. Your future starts tomorrow morning, and it starts with your decision to be a victim of circumstances or the creator of your reality. Capital grows in silence. Freedom is forged in discipline. And your new life awaits you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Don't sleep through your life. Don't sleep through your freedom. Don't sleep through your future, because nobody else will live it for you. Your capital is born before sunrise. Your freedom is forged in morning silence while others sleep. Get up and build your empire hour by hour, day by day, because time doesn't wait and your future starts now.